All right, welcome back to the newspaper review segment. Daily Graphic is starting this morning and says Peace Council calls for harmony among political parties, express worry over clashes between the NDC and the NPP. That's a story we'll take a look at. It comes with a photograph of the Most Reverend Professor Emmanuel Kwesi Asante. We'll take a look at that story. Wadru goes to court to stop December polls. The story is on page 16. We'll look at that when we get into the discussions. Daily Guide says police EC in secret deal over special voting, and also here Amidu wanted to beat Mills. William is reported to have said that. Now the Finder says government owes BDCs 2 billion cedis but made 800 million provision in IMF letter. We're told 124 million paid last Wednesday, and RLG dares Boache Jaku to provide evidence, and other stories captured here on the Finder. The Ghanaian Times says CDS IGP warned we will deal ruthlessly with troublemakers. NDC NPP supporters clash at Asokori. All these stories captured on the front page of the Ghanaian Times. There are others here. Let's quickly jump into who my guests are. This morning to my right is a Deputy Minister of Communications, Felix Kwachufos. Felix, good morning again. Good morning. And hope you're doing well. Some 16 more days to the day.
I'm very happy for the elections.
All right. We're grateful for your time here. And then the aspiring member of parliament for Tema West of the CPP. So, did I say Tema?
not this election.
The former. And a member of the CPP. Good morning to. I was trying to make sure that I have three, at least two MPs, one incumbent and one aspiring. No. All right. She once stood on that the ticket of the CPP in that constituency. Welcome to our studios.
Thank you very much.
And then Alex Afenyo-Makin is the member of parliament for the Futu constituency of the Central Region. Alex, good morning to you.
Good morning.
I hope you are doing well.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Okay.
It's a morning where we say no to tribal politics. Okay. I'm a Northerner and so what? We want competence.
Okay. Well, it is refreshing that a member of the MPP is disavowing tribal politics. Very, very refreshing. Given their
that you are a Northerner. So they should vote for you.
Well, given your recent history,
when
I'm
you
saying
could not
refreshing.
even implement SADA. You say you are not.
All right, gentlemen and ladies, I am grateful for your time this morning, and thanks so much for joining
nobody
me.
has called for Northerners to be murdered, like your friend Kelly Japan called for Ghana's and Nevers to be murdered.
Okay,
so it's refreshing that you have recanted.
We don't want to get
your views.
So the president should be elected merely because
let's start. Okay, gentlemen, if we can, yes, if we can go straight to the point.
No, but
let's speak on this one.
This is a national issue that the president of the republic and his party, having spent 8 years mismanaging the economy, will just get up and say, I am a Northerner. Vote for me. Really? The president is a very serious person. The president really somebody is not so they should vote for him.
The president is far more serious than your flag bearer. If you can, it's why it should be that MPP so they should. I thought that you had moved away from tribal politics, but it appears you are.
All right. I am grateful once again. Susan is here. If you allow her to also be part of the conversation, we'll be grateful. I am grateful. Let's jump into the conversation this morning, and let's start with the CDS, the Chief of Defence Staff, and the IGP warning, suggesting that they will deal ruthlessly with troublemakers, particularly the IGP's warning or caution that those who sit on radio, on TV, and make certain statements against political leaders and security top chiefs will be dealt with, and see where it will land us to. Susan, let me start with you. Is this one of the ways we can deal with intemperate language?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Let's see them start with the incidents that happened 2 weekends ago. I mean, in front of the Nanado's house. You know, both of them tell stories. So I don't know who's telling the truth. Somebody says, okay, they started throwing stones and then we pulled out our guns, and then somebody says, no, we didn't provoke you, you pulled out your guns and shot into the crowd. And you know, we need to start there. I mean, it was so obvious, you know, people had done the wrong thing. I mean, the police, you know, right across the street, did absolutely nothing. We saw somebody wave a gun in front of a policeman. Nothing has happened to the person. I mean, what this one? I find it amusing, because they saw what before, during, and after. And this is just a couple of days ago.
So 16 days.
Yeah, and you don't see any action. You don't see any action. One, in the first place, the police, did they not know that the walk would go in front of Nano's house? Before that, did they not give permission, for that walk to go on? Did they not know that this would be a hot spot? And didn't they have intelligence on the ground? Didn't they think that any, even just ordinary stones didn't need to have been thrown, could spark something? Did they not know that there were people there who had guns? Didn't they have permit for those guns? I mean, the whole thing has been so badly managed. It's not funny. And so when you come and sit down and say that people sit on the radio and talk, when some of the things happen right under your nose, you don't take action for it. Nobody action. People now cause trouble under the guise of their political parties and get away with it. And they think it's...
You think the police is unable to act because these persons wear political colors? That's what you're suggesting?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. If it had been between two church groups or two whatever groups, will we not have seen arrests? I mean, anybody who is supposed to have a walk or whatever is supposed to have police protection and a police escort. Did they not have police with them? If they did not, why did they not? I mean, in a flash point like the Nima area, where anything can happen. Why did that happen? I think that we should walk the talk. I mean, we should see from they don't even need to, talk. If they do the things they're supposed to do, we will see for ourselves that our police will not tolerate any kind of, shenanigans. But they have not shown themselves to I don't know. They are saying that if you interpret language. I don't have time to monitor all the stations, but once in a while you tune in, and the kind of language that, and the kind of accusations people even make over the air, and journalists allow them to say the things that they say. Are they going to be monitoring and picking these people up?
That's what the police is saying.
Well, good luck to them.
All right, Susan, I'm grateful. Alex, the Chief of Defense Staff is wanting the public to know that they're ready to deal with those who are troublemakers. And the IGP is saying that from today, there's a strict monitoring of radio, TV stations, I think all media, and those who engage in intemperate language will be dealt with.
In what context?
The police said it want to control the use of these language that results in these tensions and chaos that we see around.
Have they suddenly realized that that is their mandate? Are they being reactive or they are being proactive? You see, we've put forth certain suggestions. We've made submissions on this platform, and it appears that they are not so keen in dealing with some of these things. And I agree with my good sister that they should walk the talk. Look, no parliamentary candidate has protection. No parliamentary candidate has protection. I've said it time and again. Perhaps those parliamentary candidates who are ministers of state or deputy ministers of state, because they have that mandate, they have their protection, so it carries on. But members of parliament who are contesting are left naked. We know what happened to a candidate at Esinafo North. I have said publicly that I've been attacked twice over the weekend. 3 of my activists were attacked physically. They went to their doors. hit them hard. Another happened. Another gentleman at Ndama in Winneba. Cars belonging to the NDC broad daylight attacked him. The man reported to the police. They give him a medical form. He goes to a hospital. He comes back. The people are walking on the streets of Winneba.
No, but the NDC there in Winneba has denied the story you're telling me.
Well, if they are denying, the facts are there. All right? It's not enough to just say it's a lie. It's not enough. You can just make that sweeping statement to cover yourself.
But said your supporters rather attacked them.
It cannot be. If indeed the supporters of NPP attacked them, have they reported to the police? And if they reported to the police should take action. You get a point? It shouldn't be that we wait for things to happen, then suddenly we would wake up and attempt to create fear. We are serious about this election. We in opposition are aware of some underhand dealings. We are aware. We are aware of certain moves that point to Reagan. And we are urging the Electoral Commission.
And you have the evidence?
Oh, I'm saying that if once we are aware of certain moves, it means that it goes with evidence. Okay? And when we point out to the public that A, B, C, D are not right, take steps to address them, same should be addressed, rather than some people going undercover and expecting that, you know, the IGP or somebody else will come to their aid. We want a peaceful election. We want a transparent election. We want everybody to play by the rules. Why? For instance, like in my opening statement, Mr. President goes to part of the northern region and say that I'm a Northerner, vote for me. That is a threat to the security and the peace of this country.
How?
How? Yes. Because you are trying to play tribal politics. Why? You don't want the people to decide on you on the basis of your competence. You don't want the people to look at issues. You want to tell the people that, oh, they should vote for you merely because you are a Northerner, and then you allege that, oh, Bawumia is being used, and that if you are in MPP and you are a Northerner, you are just being used. What is more threatening? What threatens our democracy more than this statement?
So you are suggesting the police should pick the president?
Why? Is the president above the law?
I'm only asking you.
No. It is something. It's an ipso facto matter. It is something that the police should know. That if Mr. President himself has been telling all of us that if the politicians get it wrong, they should point it out. All right? So I expect that the IGP, members of the Peace Council, will call Mr. President and say, oh, Mr. President, if they can't do it publicly, at least privately, they should tell him that, Mr. President, you've gotten it wrong. Because if you want to go by that line of Northerner, then the question would be that has the NDC ever given a Muslim an opportunity to serve at that high level in their party?
Alex, let's come back to the issue.
Yes, I will land there.
Yes.
We are dealing with security. Security is not all about guns. The statement we make, our conduct, all of them are issues of security. So let me address it properly for you. The president has forgotten that in the life of NDC, nobody from the Muslim community has been given that opportunity to serve as a vice president.
Now you are breaking.
No. Alex, let me finish.
Alex,
I'm making a submission in context.
Mr. Martin Hamidu once contested.
Let me get. Mr. Martin Hamidu is a Catholic, like myself.
But at least he is from.
No. I'm not talking about. He has talked about the Northerner issue. I am talking about the Muslim issue, the Muslim-Christian divide, which must be considered in our national discourse. That is the argument.
How consider? I don't think our constitution talks about that.
Don't worry. Hold on. Right.
Alex.
Right.
Yeah.
If I'm making a point, I think that if
Alex, I don't want you to go into that because Dr. Bawumia made a statement some time ago. Are you suggesting that he was right in making that statement? Do you remember the statement I'm talking? I don't want to repeat it here.
Right. Would you want to listen to me for a moment?
Yes, that's why I brought you here.
I am saying that Mr. President has said vote for me, John Dramani Mahama, because I am a Northerner. This is Mr. President's statement. And I'm juxtaposing this against the conduct of his party. And what
did Dr. Bawumia not say the same thing, that I am your brother, so vote for me? Did he not say the same thing?
Let me finish my point. I will respond to you.
Go ahead.
I am saying that if Mr. President is saying so, then same should be said. The Muslims in the party would also come up and say that, look, we are Muslims. We've contributed so much to the success of the NDC. Has any Muslim been given the opportunity to serve as presidential candidate or to even be a running mate? Yes, it happened once.
Right.
Alhaji Mumuni.
Mumuni was there.
Yes. But thereafter, he, the president, when he was chosen as a running mate, he was not chosen because he was a Northerner. He was chosen because of who he was. But nobody, the Muslims in the party did not question why you dropped Mumuni and then you've taken a Northerner and a Christian. So that must be understood by him, that he should not be introducing those tribal politics like you said. You can't find it in our constitution, can you?
No.
So don't go there. You introduce SADA for the 3 northern region. It failed.
Okay.
Now you come in here
Alex
and
Rapper.
saying that, yes, you come in and saying that I'm a Northerner, and so what? You are a Northerner, and so what? Please deal with the issues. Rawlings had Accra as his vice, South-South. Rawlings had Atamnos as his vice, South-South. When that was happening, and Mr. President was serving as a deputy minister, why didn't he talk about it? Why didn't he question them?
Okay. In wrapping up, you said you were going to answer the Bawumia issue because we don't.
What did Bawumia say?
Okay, you don't remember what
I don't.
That's okay. He said he will answer, but now he doesn't remember.
No, because I want you to put it in the proper context.
No, I don't want to repeat.
No, because you must.
Felix, let me come back to you.
All right. What exactly he said?
That's okay.
It's just not fair. We are supposed to deal with issues. People are suffering. Nursing trainees, teacher trainees, the unemployment situation, the joblessness, the frustration in the economy, the all the challenges that we're facing.
Talking about CDS, IGP, and then
but that's for our security agencies. They will always come instead of being proactive. They wait for things to get out of hand. As we speak, we raise the concern here. Have they been able to protect parliamentary candidates? Have they provided any minimum protection?
Okay.
They want
Alex, I'm grateful.
Or somebody else to be attacked before they
let me go to Felix.
Deal with the people.
All right, Alex, I'm grateful. I'll come back to you. Alex is a member of parliament for the food to consider. Felix, let's start.
Alex has conveniently suffered a lapse in memory when it comes to Bawumia's ethno-tribal statement a couple of months ago when he said that he should be voted for because he comes from the north. And let me put it on record that the President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, has not said in this campaign that he should be voted for because he is a Northerner. What Alex obviously is struggling with is that his party has been rankled by the President's mentioning of the shabby treatment that they meted out to the late Alhaji Aliu Mahama. And do you recall that Friday or so?
Is this ground?
Oh, please, Alex, I'm not going to countenance this.
You are not going to countenance what?
I'm not going to countenance
what? Look at
when you were speaking,
Alex, can you?
No, but you are not going to countenance what?
Alex, I'm not going to countenance this misconduct. I have not forgotten.
You forgotten last week.
Alex, can you allow me to moderate this conversation?
Obviously,
he just made a statement. I'm listening.
But I allowed you to say whatever you want without coming. Okay, so I will subject your claims to strict proof as I
put him to the strictest.
I'm saying that
they did what?
Last week Saturday or Friday, I think, marked the 4th anniversary of the demise of the late Vice President of Ghana, His Excellency Alhaji Aliu Mahama. Instructively enough, anybody can prove me wrong, but I didn't hear the MPP market. JB Dankwa died decades ago. Buzia died decades ago. They are consistently marked anytime the anniversary approaches.
Felix, what is your problem?
The point I'm making,
you are not a member of the NPP,
yes,
but at least you are Ghanaian.
I'm a Ghanaian.
So
I'm a Ghanaian.
A former
absolutely, and we must honor him. It is instructive that the party on whose ticket he came to prominence as vice president did not remember to commemorate his passing.
No, Felix, I'm not taking that because you can't prove if there was any activity at the party.
Yes, but unless he's a member,
just move on.
Is it right? Don't be worried. I don't suffer the malaise of ethno-tribal politics that the MPP suffers from. So I'm not going to make any statements that pitch one tribe against the other. I'm only recollecting facts. You are a media person. Did your organization get invited to any event commemorating the man's passing? Or are we aware of any statement?
I'll quickly have to check.
I'm not aware of it, so they can prove it. The president was only saying that these people who come round during elections seeking your support, when they've had opportunity to highlight your contributions to national development, have shown you disrespect. We have contended, for instance, that in the 2007 primaries of the MPP, Alhaji Aliyu Mama was best placed, given his track record. He had been vice president for 8 years. Indeed, in his own words, he had acted cumulatively as president for 2 years because of President Kufuor's travels outside this country, and therefore was best placed in terms of experience and knowledge of the presidency to have been elected as the flag bearer of the MPP. Yet, they elected Nana Akufo-Addo, who was less experienced.
That's their right. They are right.
Of course, they are right. Yes, but the president highlighted this as evidence of the fact that indeed, when it comes to the crunch, when push comes to shove, the MPP doesn't look in the way of people who come from a certain part of this country. The MPP's own conduct, the words of their leading figures, lend support to this. Why? Were we not in this country when the minority leader?
I feel like I won't let you go. You have explained what the president said.
So let me make my point.
Let's trust
you see, right. It doesn't help. It doesn't help when you interject like that. Let me make my point.
No, but I don't want to.
I have told you that
this.
I am not
because you have explained what Alex alleged. So we can move on.
He sought to mischievously peddle falsehood about the president, claim that the president has said something that he has not said,
which you have explained,
and use that as a premise to attack the president. But let me put it on record that President Mahama, in all his decades of politicking in this country, has never been afflicted by the disease of ethno-tribal politics that the MPP, from its leader to the last person in that party, suffer from. Let me also place it on record that in terms of diversity of the tickets, the NDC's record stands out. In 1992, we had somebody from the Volta region in the shape of President Rawlings as our candidate. 96, because he was president, he was allowed to run for another 4 years. In the year 2000, we chose Anakan, Fanti, President Mills. Now, we have a Gonja of Northern Extraction as our candidate. Check all the people who have stood in the name of the MPP to run for elections since their UP days. In fact, since their UGCC days. The first was J.B. Dankwa. Second, Buzia. Then there was President Kufuor. Now, there's Nana Akufo-Addo. All of them are of Akan extraction. So the MPP doesn't come close to the NDC when it comes to the diversity of the ticket.
Let's come back
in terms of security.
Yes, let's come back to our issue.
All of us must support the police when it comes to enforcing law and order and ensuring that sanity is injected into our body politic. You see, all forms of political violence are condemnable. The problem is that there are those who foment the trouble and quickly rush to the media to play victim and accuse others of things that they themselves are guilty of. That is actually what happened last week at the Nima residence of the MPP flag bearer. They misconducted themselves. They had people who were holding guns and other offensive weapons in a manner that they should not be holding and used them in ways that they should not be using, firing upon people who were only embarking on a health work. And then they ran to the media to claim that they had been attacked. When the president
has blamed the police for.
Yeah, you see, the police clearly should have apprehended the culprits in that particular incident. But like I said the last time, it is perhaps because of the way that we've conducted our politics that has immobilized some security agencies from doing their work. Because it is not just this incident. Look at all the violence that happened in the MPP between 2014 and 2015. Not a single arrest was effected beyond those who were held for the acid attack on the late Upper East National President of the MPP. I'm saying that look,
the police, because we will.
Is it right?
We will impugn political motives.
Right.
Should they not work?
Right. There is footage of members of the Invisible Forces at the MPP headquarters fighting, and yet not one of them was picked up for questioning or for prosecution. You see, that kind of omission emboldens people to further misbehave. So I am happy that the CDS and the IGP have jointly issued this statement. I do hope that they will walk the talk and take firm action against persons undermining our peace. But that is to be distinguished from political rhetoric. I'm not also certain that indeed the police or the military, for that matter, have the mandate to hold people for what they say beyond speech that clearly violates laid down laws. I mean, only last week, Alex's friend, Honorable Kennedy Japan, was in the news again, pouring vitriol on the IGP. I'm calling him names that I cannot repeat here. The week before, he had vowed.
Has Alex told you he's his friend?
Oh, but he has to be his friend. I don't know that they are enemies. Especially when he protests anytime I mention his name. But the point is that the man continues to behave in ways that undermine the peace. He poured such vitriol on the IGP of this country that I'm still surprised that to date the leadership of the NPP has not spoken on that matter. Not even a reprimand has gone out to him. And this is a man who has a history of such intemperate language. The week before this one, he had vowed that policemen coming close to ballot boxes will be lynched. The same man. That is a direct threat to the safety and security of police officers in this country. And yet, nothing has been done to him. He sits in our parliament. So that highlights the difficulty that I'm speaking about. Why has he not been held for what is an obvious breach of the security of this country? And to the extent that the New Patriotic Party endorses such conduct, he will continue to do it. Indeed, he has been referred to...
I doubt if the party endorses
read...
Except to say that because you have not...
I'm sure you are aware.
Or seen them in any...
I'm sure you are aware, right, that the former, or let me say the chairman of the New Patriotic Party, the matter is still in dispute, Mr. Polafoko, spoke publicly about this matter, that when he once attempted to rein in that NPP MP, the current chairman described him as a gem. He says that the flag bearer of the NPP stopped him from reprimanding Kennedy Japan because he thought he was vital to the fortunes of the NPP. It is that kind of conduct, that kind of approbation that we give to misbehavior of the sort that Kennedy Japan puts up, that creates a problem that we are discussing right now. But as for tribal police, let Alex and his NPP refrain from even attempting to paint the NDC with that brush, because they are the purveyors of same.
Okay, I'm grateful, Felix. Now, Susan, please come in.
I mean, you know, we are in troubled times where people seem to have more allegiance to their political parties than to the nation. And it all arises out of the kind of politics that we practice, this winner takes all, which allows a lot of patronage, you know, and people who are vulnerable down there see their political elite in their parties as their be it all, end it all, and will do anything and everything, and they allow themselves to be used to do these kind of things. That must be nipped. We must seriously sit down as a country and tackle the root cause of this. Yes, the security services have shown a certain reluctance to punish or to arrest people in political parties, you know, and saying some things are political crimes, but wrong is wrong. And the security,
are we not the cause? Because the politician is the first to jump to the defense of this person and says the police is witch hunting.
No, but we you know, we should be able to stand firm and say you have breached A, B, C, and D, and it does not matter what colors you wear. This is wrong. Wrong is wrong, and they must stand firm. Look, there is a silent majority who will say that, but this is the right thing to do. You know, but otherwise, when they raise their hands up in despair, sort of, to say that, and then later come and talk plenty like that. I mean, some of us are not some. Look, they talk about unwarranted insults on leadership, who in a bid to run them down, and who is going to determine what's unwarranted? I have a problem with the police in terms of security. Last week, the president inaugurated an interchange. The man is sitting underneath the interchange, and cars are passing over his head, and people are standing on the railings right down, above him. I thought that when I saw cars passing on that interchange where he was going to sit under, you know, I thought that, okay, he's supposed to arrive at 5 o'clock. By 4:30, they will stop cars from passing, and then they'll push the crowd back so that in that space in which he is sitting, there should be nothing and nobody, just the security
on top of him.
On top of him. There were crowds on top of him, and there were cars still passing, and the man was sitting down there. This incident had happened.
If you drop a grenade on the road,
thank you.
It can...
No, or even just parked one of those buses. Thank God we don't have those kind of people here. But if we had one of those buses or one of those cars as a bomb, and they had let it go, they would have killed all those people, and then it would have fallen down on the president, the speaker, and the top hierarchy of this country. What kind of security is that? What? I mean, I was appalled, really. I don't know whether it is the police who and the security service who were told by the party so that the party will look as if, or as for us, our president is so popular, so it's okay for people to surround him like that, so they were relaxed, or they themselves have no idea of what they're about. Because how do you endanger the president like that? It was totally wrong to do that. Even if the party had told them that, allow people to pass, allow the cars to pass, it doesn't matter. They should have said no. As a security people, it is inappropriate to do that. You even talk about a grenade or a bomb. This thing had happened, stones had been thrown just a few days prior in front of this thing. What if somebody there had thrown a stone? Can you imagine the mayhem that would have caused? Or they were standing there with their phones like that, and the soldiers were trying to get them down, but they were standing up there with their phones. What if somebody had dropped even a phone down there into that mist? Can you imagine the chaos it would have caused? When they start talking about security, let us see the security that they are providing. Really, even for the first gentleman of the land, they could not protect him, and they allowed such a thing to happen. When they start talking about these things, I wonder, an ordinary citizen like me, what would they do? Even if the first gentleman of the land, they could put him at risk like that. Apart from that, when he was even getting to go and, the statue and the place, it was funny. It was just mayhem. Just mayhem. I think that, they should walk the talk.
I'm grateful for it.
Right.
Alex,
let me put things in proper perspective.
Yeah,
Felix.
You're responding to Felix.
Oh yes. Okay. That's the essence of this debate.
Okay,
yes,
please go on.
You see, Felix does well when it comes to coming out with certain facts. So he says that since the formative days of the MPP, we've not had anybody outside the Akan bloc. That's what he says. That in spite of the fact that Kufuor is an Ashanti, Buzia a Bron, Nanado and Achim, to him, he sees all of them. To him, he sees all of them has been of the same stock. The question is this: is there anything wrong with being an Akan in this country?
I'm 100% Akan, so there can be nothing wrong with it. Yes.
Felix, you're going to talk.
Right.
Okay, thank you. Is there anything wrong? Why is it that certain people are trying hard to suppress Akans in this country through certain statements of theirs? The Akan bloc is the biggest, is the majority, and we should know that as a fact. Can't we for a moment look at issues of merit, that we rise to eminence by merit, live respected, and possibly die regretted? Can't we for a moment as a nation begin to look at merit, that the president and his followers will start with this? Now, if they are going by this critical analysis, that's the way they want to go, then let me ask this question. In all elections, the NDC received overwhelming support in our Zongos. There is no doubt that the Muslim community has been very supportive of the NDC since 1992. But ask yourself a simple question. Have we had a Muslim vice president before? We once had a Muslim running mate, but soon thereafter he was changed. Has anybody questioned? No, Brian.
No,
I want to put
said
it in
before. That's
no.
Because of time, if we can.
No, never mind. For emphasis, you see, if we allow Felix and co to go on with this, Akan, they will be creating problem for our democracy.
Are you suggesting that because the Akans form a larger chunk of our population, we should do what?
No. I'm not suggesting that. I am saying that no, I'm saying that nobody should be given the mantle of leadership merely because of where he belongs to, he comes from. It should be on merit.
Okay.
And I am saying that the NDC as a party, if from what he's saying, that the Akan bloc in the MPP have had advantage in leadership, the question would be, that you have had overwhelming support from the Muslim community. The Zongos have always voted for you. Have we had Rawlings never chose a Notna as his running mate? Until when he dropped Aka, he again went south. Aka was from Winneba and Senya. When he dropped him, he went to Cape Coast and Ekumfi to take north. Weren't there Muslims in the party competent for that matter? Baumia's father, wasn't he there? Alaji Betimut's husband, Alaji Idrisu, wasn't he there? Why didn't Rawlings choose him, who comes from the north, and also a Mamprusi, to be his running mate, but still went down south? Even going down south, is it that the NDC doesn't acknowledge the fact that we have two major religious groupings in this country, Christians and Muslims? Don't they consider that in their selection? And has anybody questioned them? So it is hypocrisy. It is hypocrisy for Felix to come here. Now that they are losing power, they try to create the impression, because if I'm reading from Ghanaian Times. This is not opposition paper. I'm reading from Ghanaian Times. Very needless comments from the President of the Republic. And I regret to say, Mr. President said that
you won't take what Felix explained? You won't take...
No, listen, what they've been doing, let me cite my own example. When I went to Parliament, could you imagine, I don't want to mention some very big people. I'm using my own example. Avenio, you are part, why are you in this party? That's their nature. I'm telling you, big people from their side. Tribal politics, that their pension for tribal politics.
All right. Alex, let's wrap up.
Let's wrap up here. Just to conclude on it, it's important. We're talking about security, and we should not take it lightly. What they're doing, they know what they intend achieving. The president goes there. You say Aliu Mahama. Aliu Mahama Edagomba had the honor. He was honored. He was the vice president of the Republic for 8 years. Has there ever been a Muslim ever been considered for that position in your party? You have not.
Alex is whipping out a religious
yes, Alex, can we? Yes, Alex, please. The way you're going, the tangent you're going is quite dangerous, because this is what you're preaching against.
The man just said, hold on, please, with the greatest respect, in all fairness, this is a man who gets up and say, look, since the formation of the UP tradition, we have had accounts. I kept quiet because he's grounded that submission on fact. I checked. Yes, it is true that Buzia from Brong-Ahafo. You see, and they create the impression that Akan as if it's a small tribe, but they forget that Fantis are Akans,
sure.
Ashantis are Akans, Bron people are Akans, Achim people are Akans. If you go to Western region, you have Akans there. You have Seshwi people. You can say that, they are Akans. They speak Akan. All right? I am saying that it would be wrong, persimi exempli, for Felix on a national television to submit that the NPP has been choosing Akans. It is unwarranted, because if you are talking about if you are talking about Akan, it's a very wide, very diverse, very big thing. So if that is the angle they want to go, I am only simply saying that then if that is the case, then you should look at the religious issue. That if you now want to say Aliu Mahama was not celebrated, you claim that on the fourth anniversary of his death, Aliu Mahama was not celebrated.
I think we'll move
so it's an issue. But you've forgotten that the Muslims who have supported you were never given any opportunity. You've forgotten that you never chose anybody from the north.
Okay, Felix, I'll get to it. Let me tone down the conversation. Yes, Susan, coming. Alex, can you please allow?
I'm landing.
Yes.
No, she's been unfair to me this morning. Yes, on yeah. No, you've been unfair. This is my allegation. Let me land. I am saying that in this election, the issues are: 1, the joblessness; 2, the state of the economy; the desperation, the youth who do not see their future
Okay.
They tell us that there is Commander Sugar Factory. There is no
Alex, I am grateful. I'm getting Felix in, but Susan will come in. A quick reaction.
I am a Guan.
A quick reaction from you. Okay, all right.
I am
Alex, I am grateful.
And a Guan.
Alex,
and I am an MP.
Your time is up. I'm grateful. Susan, please.
I think that of the parties, somebody needs to take the higher ground. If yes.
No, blame
Alex, please allow Susan to.
She was interjecting.
She didn't interject.
No, she did.
Oh, Alex, please.
No, but she did 3 times.
Alex, please relax. Alex.
It is wrong. It is wrong for people to perceive that all our cans are from one season.
Exactly.
It is the same thing. It is wrong for also people to perceive that all Northerners are also one. Because people also then say Northerner, and then they think that Sisaless, Wales, what do you call it, Dagombes, all those people, they are Northern. We all do it. We all do this stereotype. Oh, this person is a can, this person is a North. I think that all of us need to take the higher ground in terms of it. Yes, I agree. We want to talk about joblessness. We want to talk about the kind of despair young people feel that there isn't a future ahead of them. We want to talk about the kind of corruption that we are living in, day out. Where you come from does not matter. You are Ghanaian first, last, always. Now, I interjected Alexis on that. In chastising the president for what he did, which was wrong, he then comes and introduces a religious aspect, which is needless.
That you support the politician.
Alex, you're not on the floor,
you can chastise him, and we will all agree with you without going in that direction, because then it looks as if you are also then whipping up a certain kind of sentiment against Christians, that, oh, it has always been Christians, and so this is the time for Muslims. We don't need that. Take the higher ground. The man has said something, we disagree with it. You say that, look, this is wrong. We will not speak that way. Even when we have examples to show, we will not speak that way. And then we move on as a country. Because this Ghana is for all of us.
Okay, Susan, I'm grateful. Wrap up on this one.
You see,
I didn't want you.
First of all, let me place it on record that what Alex accuses the president of, he has not done. It is blatantly false to say that the president has said because he's a non that he should be voted for. 2, we in the NDC, by our deed and our actions, have shown that in selecting who leads us, we don't look at where the person comes from. It is for that reason that I gave you a historical account of who.
But who does?
Oh, please.
So who does?
Please,
Alex, please allow Felix to go. We're running out.
On that basis that I gave you evidence on where the people who have led us have come from, because it is never a criteria for selecting leaders in our party. As for them, through their actions and their words, look, this is a party whose former finance minister was able to stand on the platform and say that if you don't come from 5 regions in this country, you should be excluded from the leadership.
You see, right?
Okay,
allow me to.
And he got support
Felix,
for the flag bearer.
But you remember this was denied.
Is it right? It was dishonest on his part to come and deny what everybody knew was him. So that is even worse. You understand me? It is even worse. Listen,
it is not.
Please,
no.
But when Alex was making his point, I kept quiet.
But you, right. But this is serious.
Right.
Listen, you say a leader that has no. The man says it's not me.
Yes, and I made it clear to him that the man said he didn't make that statement.
Right. Mr. Osafo peddled an untruth when he said it was not him. Everybody knows his voice. And sometimes the dishonesty that members of the MPP show is shocking. It is the reason why I contend that they should be left in opposition. When you commit a wrong, you must admit that I made a mistake and apologize. But you don't come and deny what everybody knows to be the truth. It was his voice on that tape. And he said that if you don't come from 5 account regions, you cannot aspire to the leadership of this country.
So even though he denied, you think it was his voice?
Their minority leader is on record to have said that a Ghana cannot become the leader of the MPP. It is on record. In fact, to his credit, he did apologize.
Yeah, of course, I
who
remember
denied what was obvious. But he made that statement. Their leader, when referring to MPP supporters, said, "Yenya come for dear." So it is in their ethos. That is what they believe in. Through their actions, they believe that people from a certain extraction should not come near the leadership of that party. So when I gave you that chronology, which he cannot dispute because he knows it is fact, I did it to show that if there's any party that shows disrespect to people coming from a certain background, then it is them. And for the records, the NDC selected, or President Mills selected Alhaji Muhammad Mumuni as his running mate in 2004. If he had won that election, Alhaji Mumuni would have become the vice president of the Republic of Ghana.
So
that is a fact. But in terms of selecting who is leader of the NDC,
2008,
in terms of selecting who is the leader of the NDC, it doesn't matter where you come from. That is how come we can count we can count somebody from the northern part of Ghana. We can count somebody from the southern part of Ghana.
Mention a tribe.
You understand the point I'm making? We gave them the opportunity because we thought that they merited it. But if it had been the MPP, we can say without fear of contradiction that they will not be considered. Because in 2007, Alhaji Aliu Mama was the most qualified amongst the lot. And they didn't give it to him.
I'm grateful.
And check the tickets that they've had since they were formed, the UGCC days. It has all been people from a certain part. And when you look, Alex, sorry, Bright, me, I'm full-blooded Akan, 100%. My mom is fancy.
And your Neil Ante says,
my mom, well,
look at you.
Well, okay, it is a flag bearer.
You are short, you can't be
It is a flag bearer who gets angry when height is mentioned.
But your people,
okay, no, grateful gentlemen, we need to move on. Alex,
listen to me.
All right.
Alex, listen to me.
No.
Alex, Neil Ante says you have a certain height, you can't be president.
Alex, that issue.
No, right.
Let's move on. I have just 5 more minutes.
Neil Ante said, if you're of a certain height, you can't be president. But I know Felix. In all sincerity, he's a very sharp guy. Are they saying that because Felix is short, he can't be president? He can't be the flag bearer of NDC?
Alex, can we move on? When you mention my height, I don't get angry. Your flag bearer gets angry when his height is mentioned. So if you want to mention,
I'm grateful, gentlemen.
But okay, I was on the floor.
Yes, we're moving on. Wrap up, Alex. Felix, please wrap up. 5 seconds.
You see, all the issues that matter to the people have either received attention or have been addressed by the NDC government led by President Mahama.
Okay.
We have fixed education, we have fixed health,
you sure you
we are fixing roads,
there are
we
no
are fixing transport. Of course, there are challenges, but we have fixed it by and large. We are fixing the economy. On the issue of jobs, we have evidence to show that we have created tens or hundreds of thousands of jobs. The MPP,
but there are still people on the street.
We acknowledge that. That is why in this manifesto, we've outlined the most credible policies for job creation. The MPP is totally hopeless in that regard. They have no track record. No, it is a totally hopeless. It is a totally hopeless platform that they are presenting. Totally hopeless. No hope at all can be placed in that. It is a huge joke that they are presenting to the people of this country. But when you check our manifesto, we have very credible programs because we acknowledge the fact that the young people of this country need opportunities to grow, and we are often seen. But when their past and their misdeeds come to haunt them, let them steam in their own juices and leave the NDC out of it. We are a national party that gives recognition to all people. He speaks about Muslims. Whenever the ones who oppose the bill to make Islamic holidays, national holidays.
I have wrapped up on that issue.
Yes.
Let me quickly pick
why they promised to build high-rise buildings in Zongos. Let them account to the people of Zongos.
How many minutes more do we have? Let's wrap up on this one.
So yes.
The Daily Statesman and Daily Guide are reporting of an issue here. The EC came out with some information that the number of special voters had to go up because they now have a full complement of their staff. And so the number for special voting had to go up. Daily Statesman is suggesting that a deal has been exposed and that the EC has allowed more names on the special voter list after the deadline. The Daily Guide is suggesting that the police is also putting in some names onto the ballot. Susan, again, let me start with you. The EC came out and said that initially they had 65,000, but after getting a full complement of their staff for work on December 7, the number has gone up. And some are suggesting that indeed there is some lack of transparency in that.
Well, I think that the EC needs to do a lot more proactiveness, and maybe these are some of the things that they ought to do. Maybe before even finding the names, they ought to have put it out that, look, this number that we have now may not necessarily be the total number, the overall figure, and so these figures may either go up or go down, depending, maybe people have died, etc., 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 so that they could prepare our minds towards it. And, I think that some of these things also, when we wait sometimes too close to the times, it just ratchets up the tension, and makes also, look, obviously, these are papers that are inclined towards a particular party. So they will put their own spin on it. And when they put their spin on it, it increases the tension. You don't want to get there. We don't want, I mean, we have 17 days more. People feel as if the 17 days, I mean, the country will implode even before, the elections happen. And some of these little things are the ones that cause this kind of action. I mean, look, they are talking about 20,000 voters unaccounted for, etc., etc., etc. I mean, we've had a problem with our register. We know that whatever we are working with is not the perfect register, but we've agreed to move on with it. We don't want a situation where now, people feel as if certain things are being smuggled onto the list. Onto the list. And I think that a lot more transparency or a lot more proactiveness in some of the actions that they will take that can be made to look suspicious, the EC should, just deal with us transparently, and we won't get to this thing where people will slant it. Possibly, even if you have found an NDC paper who was so inclined, they would have put a different twist on it. I think that we don't need the tension going up at this time any more than it has.
Felix, how has this come to your attention?
Well, let me put it on record that we in the NDC have perhaps been the most responsible party in this whole electioneering process. You'll notice that we have not gone to town to make wild, false allegations with a view to undermining any state institution. Indeed, we have been at the forefront of insisting that state institutions ought to be respected and allowed to do their work. These are two MPP tabloids, like Susan pointed out. They are leading the way in the spreading of falsehood to create unnecessary tension, to serve as a pretext to once again reject the outcome of the elections when they lose. That is all that can be said for this one. Because you recall that 2 weeks ago, the MPP claimed that some ballot papers had been intercepted in Boku or thereabouts, when in fact they were legitimate ballot materials being transported in the presence of political party representatives. They took pictures of that exercise and put it on social media and claimed that these were illegal ballot papers that had been seized in order to create tension. Then last week, they claimed that the EC had printed collation sheets without serial numbers. The EC promptly came out and debunked that and showed evidence that these were legitimate collation sheets that had been prepared for election day come December 7th. Now they claim that there's a bloated special voters register. Complete falsehood, all in a bid to further undermine the integrity of the Electoral Commission and give their supporters cause to misbehave when they lose again. You see, the irresponsibility that they've shown in this electioneering process must be condemned. And sometimes the lack of principle and candor and truth in this our country makes it very difficult to participate in politics. What they are doing is simply aimed at offering a pretext for misconduct when they lose the elections. Otherwise, why is it that every step of the way they throw in one falsehood or the other, starting from the register? Only yesterday they were
to get the EC.
Only yesterday they were at Aflawo to hold a rally after claiming that there are 760,000 foreigners on our register. Up to date, they have failed to bring that evidence, and they are even confident enough to hold their chest up high after peddling such a falsehood. Then they claim that they had shown 10% of those 760,000 foreigners, only for it to turn out that it was a fraudulent register that they brought, claiming that it was a Togolese register. The Togolese EC simply dismissed that register and said that there was no way that the MPP could have laid hands on such a register. It turned out to be false. Even when they went for the election petition, can you believe that there was an instance where they claimed that the EC had opened polling stations in places that did not exist? Meanwhile, the EC showed letters signed by their flag bearer assigning polling agents to those polling stations. So they've been wasting everybody's time in this electioneering process. I think that Ghanaians are simply sick and tired and fed up with the MPP's many excuses and falsehoods. If they are a serious political party, let them show up on election day and do what every party does. That is, police the elections through lawful means. If they are legitimate challenges, raise them by all means. But don't be crying wolf. You see, they are crying so much wolf that the day that the wolf comes, nobody will believe them when they cry wolf. You recall that story, that nursery story, where the boy always was crying wolf. People will go there only to find out there's no wolf. The day that the wolf came, and he shouted for help. Nobody bothered to go to his aid because people had grown tired of him. That is exactly what the MPP is doing. And it is in their own interest to stop this charade. It doesn't help. That is not what is going to make them win the elections. And for all you know, they are the ones who are actually engaged in underhand dealings. And as for me...
That's an allegation.
Oh yes, but as for me, you see, my default position is not to trust anything the MPP says until they prove otherwise. That is my default position. Perhaps it is a position that is good for the health of all Ghanaians. Don't trust the MPP until they show otherwise, because their conduct shows that they can tell blatant lies with a straight face and make you believe what is false to be true. So if you want to stay healthy, don't believe the MPP until they prove otherwise.
I'm grateful. Alex, has this come to your notice, the issue of the special voting and the list having gone up? The EC has given some reaction to it and said that they now have the full complement of the staff, and so they had to be added onto the list from the previous figure that they gave.
Right. Certain guidelines were introduced. Certain processes were supposed to be followed in coming out with the list of special voters. Now, a deadline was clearly given, and the EC came out with certain figures. If they knew that they were not done with certain recruitment and the list was not completed yet, why did they give us certain figures? Then you turn around. Felix claims that he doesn't trust the NPP.
I don't at all.
That is well founded.
I don't trust you.
It is to be expected. And he expects me sitting here to trust the EC, which in 2012 did not even know the number of people registered as voters in this country, giving different figures at different times, where you and the Electoral Commission sing from the same hymn book, where you don't find anything wrong with the Electoral Commission, where the Electoral Commission illegally...
If there's nothing wrong, why should we find something wrong? Just so that we make noise and undermine their integrity. We won't do that. We are not irresponsible at all. But as for you, you tell lies with straight face. Where is the 760,000 foreigners? Alex, where are the 760,000 foreigners?
Would you allow him to... We're wrapping up the
Provide it, then I will trust you.
Alex, please
provide 760,000 foreigners right now.
Alex, please go on.
I will trust you.
If you trust me or trust the MPP, that would mean you've defected from...
No, not at all. At least when you say something...
Alex, if you can go on by not inviting him into the conversation, I think we will progress.
Alex, for instance, when you say that... just a minute before you come in. For instance, when you say something that is truthful, okay, when you say something that is truthful, I have to take your word for it because you are an honorable member of parliament. But when you consistently peddle lies on every matter, it makes it difficult for me to trust what you say. That is what I'm saying.
All right, so
that's what I'm saying.
You don't trust the NPP.
Implicitly, I don't trust you because of the things that you are capable of saying. Okay. Yes. Why? You are a group that goes about saying anything.
Okay, Alex, please go on because your time is running now.
Oh, no, it can run. It's running.
Okay, please.
So if you want me to trust you, start telling the truth.
Oh!
Felix, allow Alex.
He invited me.
At least he is aware. Before I do the EC thing, at least he is aware that the excuse being given for not paying the nursing training allowance and that of teacher training was as a result of mismanagement, because they paid $200 million to the
What's mismanagement? What is he talking about?
As a result of their inability
complete
to meet
falsehood again, which has nothing to do with the issue.
$200 million.
Complete false.
If you put it all together,
it's completely false.
If you convert that is 800 million Ghana cedis. It's also a fact that the SADA 200 million Ghana cedis, which in 2015 November we paid an interest of 99 million, together 299 million, was a complete waste.
But that's another sweeping
because they themselves and a ministerial inquiry came out with certain findings and said that look, in fact SADA has failed, we concede, and that we've ordered some refunds. Is that what is in there? Yeah, it is. Yeah, that is what is there.
No such in that report.
By the way, I don't expect the Electoral Commission and the NDC to be at war. I don't.
But why should we be?
I don't. I would continue. It is obvious that in this election, every step taken by the group calling for change, every step taken by the group calling for change, and when I talk about the group calling for change, I mean the PPP is calling for change, I mean the CPP, which is calling for change. I
change,
mean
change your candidates. Change
of government. Don't worry.
Change your candidates.
We want to be consistent.
Felix, is that your concern?
You're
not a member of the party.
No, but let them change their candidates.
Calling for
He's
change.
a perennial candidate. Every election, you're flag, but change him first.
Never mind.
If you are interested in change him.
Very well.
Then Ghanaians will take you seriously.
Well.
But President Mahama is changing Ghana.
Okay.
So there's no need for change. Why? President Mahama is creating jobs for the youth of this country.
Okay.
We cannot change the way and bring creating jobs.
Okay.
You have
Alex, please wrap up for me. I am wrapping up.
Yes. Stop that.
But the lies are simply too much.
All right.
And officially sanctioned.
Alex, please wrap up for me. I am wrapping up the show.
All parties are calling for change except the NDC. We're calling for change because the government in office has demonstrated incompetence, and it's obvious. No single social intervention initiative has been successfully implemented. And it's a fact.
That's a complete falsehood.
No single social intervention initiative.
Let's give you very specific evidence for what you're saying.
Because I am wrapping up the show.
So you can't allow you to tell such a you see why
Alex,
name one that has collapsed.
It has failed. Sada, the man who says he's a Northerner, has failed the Northerners.
But that is also not
who says he's a Northerner.
Sada is
the man has failed to provide water for the people he served as their MP.
That is not true. The man is building water systems for one.
There's no water.
No, that is false.
Okay,
right.
So I am saying
that is false.
That it is so clear
you have information there's no water in Boleman.
But that is
a fact.
Is it right?
Oh,
that
is
a
fact.
It is not true.
It's a fact.
The man has even provided water in your flag boy's hometown, Chebi. You think that you provide water in his hometown?
The point is this.
Chebi has water. Your
the
flag boy's
electoral
hometown
commission
provides
must be watched.
All right.
We need to monitor the electoral commission. After all our efforts have yielded some fruits. Why? When Eyi Mensah took the electoral commission to court, electoral commission was able to sit up. When took the electoral commission,
Alex, I am grateful. I have taken 10 minutes of
so it means that the electoral commission is always getting it wrong.
I am grateful,
by receiving the endorsement of the NDC.
Alex Afenyo Marken is a member of parliament for the Futu constituency.
But you've been telling two guys.
Susan Edouard-Mankwa is a member of the CPP, and Felix Kwachofo is a member of the NDC, a deputy minister of communication. Gentlemen and lady, I am grateful.
Tell him to do the needful before you sign out.
Which one is that?
Tell him
Which one?
to do the needful before you sign out. You just tell him.
Urging Ghanaians that the NPP is bad for their health.
Which one is that?
I think you are both bad for the health of Ghanaians. I think Ghanaians should notice that it is not a matter of following a party that has a large crowd.
Right.
They should sit and they should think about it carefully.
Okay.
We voted.
Are you for change?
We voted.
Are you for change?
Yes, I am for change.
Are you for change?
I am for the right kind of change.
Are you for change?
It is not just change for
change. Are you for
change? We voted out the NPP for a reason.
Are you for
change? The NDC. They have both failed us. If we are changing,
talk about the NDC.
Going back to the NPP. We are changing it for the better.